Hello and welcome to Just Africa, the program that delves into the heart of our African identity and its impact on our present and future. Today we are exploring a topic that resonates deeply with many across our continent: the significance of Isese Day, and more broadly, the crucial role of African traditional beliefs and practices in shaping our policies, our development in a world often dominated by Western models. So, are we truly acknowledging and leveraging the wisdom embedded in our indigenous traditions? How can the values and our principles of Isese and other African belief systems inform our governance, our economies, our societal progress? Live from our studios in Lagos, I am Olumide Shokoya. Of course, I'm not the only one here. I have the very beautiful Omevi Idolo looking so dashing. So glad to have you.
Lagos, Ekaso, Nigeria, Ekaso, Africa, Ekaso, Olumide, Ekaso.
Ekaso.
Orúkọ mi Omevi Idolo. That's how I can go with the Yoruba part. So let's come back to English, you know.
You did well, you did well.
Yes, I'm super excited because this is our culture. I am so proud of African culture. You know that already. I'm Afrocentric. So when we come to talk about Isese, that is a culture. We're talking about the Yoruba origin. And I know that this show, we're going to do a whole lot. We're going to change the mindset of so many people, because some people actually believe that Isese is all about deities.
Sacrifices,
it's all about sacrifice. It's all about going to the shrine to go and pay homage to one god or the other. It is far, far beyond that.
Definitely.
The religious people might see it that way, but as an African, as a Yoruba person, although I'm a Delta, but it doesn't matter, as a Yoruba person, because I am staying in Lagos, it means that we are going back to the roots. We are talking about our culture. All those things that the Western tradition, the Western style are taking away from us, we are bringing it back home. It's high time we talk about it.
Definitely.
These are things that we don't talk about. We don't talk about the economic value of Isese.
Yes.
We don't talk about our clothing. We don't talk about our beads.
Yes.
Now, these days, someone sees me wearing this and they tell you, she's diabolic. Hello? Hello, where did that come from? We've been beads people, nobody talk about our ashoke, although some fashionistas are actually doing so much with our ashoke these days.
Yes.
They do so much. We can't mention brands. I would have mentioned brands. But yes, today is a day of celebration. We want to go back home. Let's go back to our roots.
Yes. All right, so today we take a closer look at Isese Day. Now, a day set aside to honor African traditional religion and culture. For some, it's about identity and spirituality. Now, for others, it raises important questions. How should African traditions be recognized in policymaking? And can cultural recognition go hand in hand with economic growth and development? Now, across Nigeria and many other African nations, there have been calls for formal recognition of traditional religions alongside Christianity and Islam. Because if you look at it, yes, these traditions have been there before Western colonization came. Now, beyond the spiritual debate lies the bigger conversation. What role do traditions and indigenous institutions play in shaping inclusive policies, boosting cultural industries, and promoting social cohesion? We're going on a short break. We have lovely guests right here that will thrill us, educate us, and inform us. Stay tuned. It's Just Africa. We'll be right back.
At the Africa Development Studies Center, ADSC, we are committed to driving sustainable growth and development across Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission: empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change with customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics. ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, and monitoring and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. For more information, email us at info@adstudiescenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website www.adstudiescenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. African Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
The Three Wise Men. Iconic sculptures and statues adorn major metropolitan cities of the world. In Lagos, Nigeria, the statue of three men designed to depict the state's cultural heritage and to usher in visitors and tourists into the ever-accommodating center of excellence is no doubt an astounding work of art. Originally built under the administration of Colonel Raji Rasaki, designed by Bodun Shodende in 1991 and standing over 12 feet high, referred to as Agba Meta or Aro Meta, the three sculptured chiefs were placed along the Lagos-Ibadan toll gate to welcome people coming into Lagos State. The statue called the Three Wise Men by many has become a major signature for the state. Three white-capped chiefs clad in white wrappers, knotted across their shoulders and with clenched right fists are shown in the artwork. The images fascinate and create impressions in the minds of visitors coming into the state, captivating the attention of visitors who look with keen interest, pondering on the messages which the posture of the engraved images signifies. The Three Wise Men has been relocated thrice from its original position at Ojodu Berger end of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to Magodo area before its final relocation to its present site at Olowo Drive. The sculpture has suffered severe damages over the years and renovated. Bodun Shodende, through this sculpture, depicted the highest honor that can be afforded to anyone in the eco-greeting tradition. The Three Wise Men, Arometa, Sook Enlightenment. Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS. Tafawa Balewa Square was initially used as a horsing ground called Lagos Race Course. The edifice was constructed by General Yakubu Gowon in 1972 and named after Nigeria's first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa. Tafawa Balewa Square is located at 45/57 Marse Bangboshe Street on Lagos Island, Lagos, and referred to as TBS. TBS is a 50,000-seater capacity venue and houses the Remembrance Arcade, the 26-story Independence House, which at a time was the country's tallest building. When Lagos served as the country's seat of government, the National Assembly Complex was within the TBS. Also in the square are the National Broadcasting Commission Office, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency Office, shopping centers, travel agencies, restaurants, car parking lots, and a bus terminal. Tafawa Balewa Square is adorned with beautiful statues of white horses and red eagles, symbols of strength and dignity. Our historic neighbors include the King's College and the Holy Cross Cathedral. Tafawa Balewa Square hosted some of the country's memorable events such as the Independence Day in 1960 when Nigeria gained independence from Britain, the Armed Forces Remembrance Day which is celebrated annually on January 15. The edifice is a national cultural asset. Tafawa Balewa Square, Souk Enlightenment.
Welcome back to Just Africa, where we explore stories shaping our continent's business, economy, and development. Today, we are celebrating our African traditional religion and culture, the Isese Day. Our first guest today is Prince Jibril Adeshegun Dosunmu. He is the director, Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, for short, CBAC. He is an author, activist, and authority on African tradition. Isese Agbewa.
Isese Agbewa.
Isese Agbewa.
Isese Agbewa.
Thank you very much for gracing this occasion.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so privileged to be here.
All right.
Thank you.
So now, Isese has now been recognized. It's a public holiday, so which means every 20th of August, Nigerians, Africans would recognize this day and celebrate culture, tradition, and religion. But let us start from the beginning. Take us through. How did it come into fruition? What is Isese Day? What does it signify?
Well, Isese Day is a product of cultural nationalism. You know, they need to assert self. They need to, you know, deal with questions of identity. And they need to, you know, talk about issues of morality, issues of values, issues of tradition, you know, as it is indigenous, you know, to Africa. Of course, it has its origin from the pre-colonial period, you know, to the various onslaughts against it, you know, during colonialism, cum, you know, the religious, various foreign religious enterprise, you know, they've attacked it, and the post-independence. And now, you know, African traditional values has engineered the movement for African independence because they played major role in different parts of Africa. Take, for instance, the Mau Mau movement in Kenya is rooted in the traditions of the Kenyans. You know, likewise too, the various formations of political parties, particularly beginning from, you know, the WASU movement, the West African Student Union, Student Union, based in Europe. You know, all these were have link with the need to promote, you know, African culture and African tradition, and these were used to propel, you know, the struggle against colonialism and the eventual independence of many African states.
So basically, what you're saying is, it also had some bit of how will I put it? It fought against colonialism. It also took part in the independence of our country today.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How
Despite the fact that its influence has been, you know, usually understated, and its impact has been, you know, under-mentioned, you know, but nevertheless, a very deep introspection into what African tradition has done will show that most of the moments that has led to the current, you know, state of things, you know, are rooted in our are rooted in us as people, as people that comes from the past, because our present is a product of our past, and our past, of course, will usually guide our future.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I want to ask, the word Isese, what does it mean? For someone who is not a Yoruba person, or for someone who doesn't understand Yoruba. Yes, the celebration may just be within the Yoruba land, but all over the world, people are watching. Some persons want to know the meaning of that word, Isese. What does it mean?
Well, from a multidimensional perspective, Isese will refer to the origin, or what you will call Genesis. Okay. Of course, there's an Odu-Ifa, one of the chapters of Ifa corpus, that talks about, our parents, our origin, our head, our ori is our origin. So many things are connected to our Isese. So in essence, Isese can be referred to as origin, it can equally be referred to as the genesis, and it can equally be referred to as the heritage, over time of our people.
Okay. Now, August 20th, it is no longer an ordinary day for the Yoruba person out there anymore. Reason being that right from the early 2000s, the traditionalists, let me use the word, they've been fighting for this day. Until 2014, when the former governor of Osun State, Aribishola, made it, okay, let's celebrate Isese, August 20th. Now, the Western states have adopted the 20th. Why August 20th? Why not other days?
Interestingly, within the traditional Yoruba calendar, August is a period in which so many, cultural activity takes place. Okay. First, we must understand that issues relating to reproduction, has to do with August. Take, for instance, the various deity, spirituality, Oshun, the God that has to do with, with productivity, with purity. All this happens within the months of August, between July and August. Don't forget equally that the center of many of the traditional programs, particularly in Yoruba land in southwest Nigeria, most of those programs, most of those activities, they take place in August. Take, for instance, Shango, the Shango Festival. It's taking place, usually takes place in August. The Osun Festival takes place in August. The Agema Festival of the Ijebus, its replication at various places, various towns, that have a cultural affinity with the Ijebus, takes place in August, which they call the Ifobu. After the main performance at Imoson, where the main festival takes place, and the recurring festivity in Ijebu. All these are within the period. And don't forget equally that August is particularly important in that it is about regeneration of life. It is about starting new things. So August is important, and that's why the choice of 28th August appears very central. Appears very central to Isese celebration. Isese necessarily is August celebration. So, and I think so doing, every other person must key into it. And to talk of Isese is not a Yoruba thing alone. It cuts across various parts of Africa, whether it is the Maghreb or the sub-Saharan Africa, up to to Southern Africa, and even the diaspora, So it's not just only an African thing alone.
All right, so we'll quickly go on a short break now, and when we come back, we continue. Don't go nowhere. This is Isese Day. We'll be right back.
My name is Shino Ogbadegeshin. I'm the CEO of Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch Souk News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching Souk News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch Souk News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching Souk News, okay? Stay updated with Souk News.
My name is Aton Kame. I am the head of MSME Banking. Please keep watching Souk News and stay glued to Souk News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch Souk News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching Souk News.
Hello Nigeria, hello Africa. Yeah, this is Sound Man. Keep watching Souk News.
My name is Babalola from Excel LED. Keep watching Souk News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch Souk News TV.
Hi, I'm Tom Bogaballs, and please keep watching Souk News.
Wale Seriki, SLG Lagos Island East. Souk News, keep out watching them and keep a lookout for them. They're up and coming, and we're proudly to be affiliated with them.
You alone where they make me go crazy. This your love in the cool of my brain. You're my medicine, I need you all day. Yo, it's Blackface Nigeria and you're watching Souk News TV. Keep it locked on this dial, don't change it. You know what I say? Blackface Nigeria, love no bad.
Idumota Market. Eko Idumota, once a residential neighborhood, is home to Idumota Market located on Lagos Island. It is one of the oldest and arguably one of the largest markets in West Africa. Idumota is a historic neighborhood adjacent to the Lagos port that facilitated the slave trade and later, under the British indirect rule, it surrounded to exports that fueled the colonial enterprise. Idumota was also the location of an armed forces remembrance cenotaph called Soja Idumota, built as a monument to Nigerian soldiers who served with the West African Frontier Force. An Eyo Masquerade statue and a clock tower are also some monuments at Idumota. Idumota Market is so popular that large sales are recorded as early as 7 a.m. The market is made up of hundreds of locked-up shops occupying several multi-story buildings, with some measuring about 5 or more floors. In 2010, the Lagos State government demolished some illegal structures in order to improve vehicular and human movement in and around the markets. During weekdays, the neighborhood of Idumota is dense.
Welcome back to Just Africa. If you're just logging in or tuning in, this is Isese Day. Today is Isese Day, 12th of August, and we have Prince Jibril Adeshegun Dosunu. So glad to have you here.
Well, I'm so privileged to be part of the program.
All right, so on a day like this, tell us, what are the ceremonial rites? What activities goes on today?
Well, a day like this did not occur naturally. It is more of a day that, has been legislated. So most issues relating to tradition evolve naturally. So, and of course, there have been a number of, events that has been slated for today, particularly bringing together not just only adherents of traditional faiths, but likewise too, people, that, have some kind of a soft spot, for African traditional, culture, African traditional religion. It's a day that accommodates, virtually everybody, irrespective of their faith. And it's a day that is unpretentious, in which people have to, get out of the cocoon of various pretenses. Because the truth is that people throng Isese places at night and go to their churches and mosques in the morning.
When you say Isese places, where exactly are you? Is it
Of course,
shrines?
they visit not just only shrines, but at least they visit, the babalawos, the dibias, and consult them. Even politicians, they throng their place, and seeking one help, one assistance or the other. But the sad thing about it is that they talk disparagingly about African tradition, but in their corners they patronize them, despite the fact that they pretend that such realities doesn't. So the Isese Day is a day that brings together people of different faiths, irrespective of whether they are Christians, Muslims, or traditional, religious practitioner. They, as much as possible, they come, to say, sin no more. So I mean, it accommodates virtually everybody. It does not discriminate. And most of even those faiths too, they are product of Isese from the climb where they emerge, from the climb where they were sold to us. They are product of Isese too. So to talk about Isese, it has a primary interpretation, it has secondary, and it has tertiary level of interpretation. So for a day like this, people will come together, create a social gathering, listen to music that are, connected to African culture, African religion, and there's merrymaking. At some areas, in in Lagos, take for instance Ikorodu, Epe, there are places where the Isese, adherents, they gather and they celebrate, they enjoy, just like it is done during Christmas or during the Eid festivities. So these are some of the things that happen during that day.
Any ritual performed?
Well, rewrites are performed like it is done every day, because there's a saying that because you cannot predict what each day brings, that makes the babalawo, to divine every day, to consult, every day, to know what and what to do as each day comes. So as far as Isese comes, it's just like every other, rites that are performed, at every other time of the day, So it's not a particular thing, but it does not negate the fact that there are, of course, cultural activities, festivities that happen during this period. So the high point of it is just to have it on August 20, you know, to bring people together, just like Christmas unite, just like Ileya festivities unite people within those faiths. So Isese Day too is to bring everybody together, irrespective of you know, the various gods they worship, the differences they have. It's to unite people, you know, in terms of faith, in terms of doing things commonly, and bringing peace and harmony to the society.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. You know, he asked some of the activities. This is not the main question I really wanted to ask, but I want to ask this one first. And you said people come together, they sing, they eat, they drink, of course, so merriment.
Yes.
Do you know any of the songs that are sung during Isese Day? Can you sing one?
Awa oshoro ile wa o, awa oshoro ile wa o, ẹ̀sìn kan ò pé ká má ṣe, ẹ̀sìn kan ò pé káwa má ṣòro, awa oshoro ile wa o.
That's beautiful. You have a melodious voice. Now, I want to ask, having given us one of these songs, and I believe that most of the younger people in our generation these days don't know the song that you just did now. Now, so is there any particular tradition that we risk losing if Isese Day is not celebrated? Because we said that it is also part of understanding our culture, understanding how our heritage can be preserved. So is there a particular one that we can stand to lose?
There are so many things we stand to lose, not just a particular one.
Okay.
Our identity is at risk. Our means of communication is threatened. Our history, our memories, you know, over time become altered. So to be very specific about this, you know, our language, you know, it's not gaining primacy as we give to English. Take, for instance, this conversation is happening in English language. You know, it's supposed to be in our various indigenous language, you know. Likewise, our identity becomes altered over time because we don't want to be who we are. Like Bob Marley said, we refuse to be what they wanted us to be, and we are what we are. And that's the way it's going to be. You know, if we refuse to be what we should be, then that means we are aping. We are copying, you know, what we should not be. So, and that in itself, you know, redefines our identity as a people. And like Dr. Hagri, you know, of Ghana said that anyone that is not proud of his or her color is not fit to live. So if we want to continue living, it means that we must recognize who we are, and we must make our identity, we must make it count. Likewise, too, our history is very important because our history is like the oil bin, you know, as stated in the Riverside Invocation in Mother Idoto by Christopher Okigbo. You know, our past, you know, our present must lean on our past for us to have a future. So it is important that it serves, essentially, it reconnects us back to our roots. The Isese Day reconnects us. It serves as a memory, and peoples without memory, they can't have a future.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, so my next question is also around what you said. Languages, our language, our style of dressing, our African stuff, the African culture, beads and all that, that makes us African. Now, or makes us Yoruba, let's limit it to the Isese Day right now. We have seen people who feel that speaking my local dialect makes me look local. So they feel that, okay, the more of English you speak, the more exposed you are. We now laugh at ourselves when we hear a Yoruba person speak and we hear the Yoruba accent in their words. How do we make people understand that this is who we are? For me, whether you are an Igbo, whether you are a Yoruba person, whatever you are, so long you can communicate and I can understand, I don't care about your accent.
Well, I think importantly, the starting point is to talk about it, is to continue to engage it. Then secondly, it is important for us to know that you can't speak good English if you are not very good, in your indigenous language. The various people that have excelled and that are celebrated globally, were able to do so in English language because they are grounded and they are well nuanced, in their, African languages. Take, for instance, the kind of popularity Achebe's works has gained today is because he has been able to interpret, Igbo worldview, Igbo cosmology, yes, in English. It is this understanding of Igbo, that you find in many of his works. And the reality today is that for someone like Achebe, the kind of attention he has enjoyed, speaks about, the beauty, in Igbo culture, which he has taken, showed the world for people to appreciate, and, they do that. So, likewise, Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka's winning the Nobel Prize is majorly because of the way he has deployed, his traditional culture using foreign language, so it's not, you can't, if you don't speak your language, you don't understand your language, it becomes very difficult for you to use English language properly. And that's why the beauty in our culture, is showcased through our language. And you can only do that when you are deep and you use our language. So it is important to encourage young people, like the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization is doing through its numerous programs involving young people, in issues or matters of culture, because for traditions, for culture, for morals, for values, that you don't want those things to disappear, then you must involve young people. Otherwise, it will die naturally.
Thank you very much. Now, talking about involving young people, yes, we are glad that apart from Osun State, other states are now adopting Isese Day, which means it's getting wide recognition. But if you look at our youths, they are tech savvy, they are always on social media. And when you talk about Isese Day, people believe it's just related to anything spiritual, belief, religion, deities, and all that. How can we get the youth to be actively involved? That's number one. Now, beyond cultural values, how can traditional events like Isese Day be leveraged, to create economic opportunities in tourism, arts and crafts?
Of course, there's a focus by the current government that has to do with the creative economy. What is creative economy? Creative economy is rooted in culture. Whether you talk of arts, crafts, music, even storytelling and some other activities, it is rooted in our culture. And the way to get the young people involved, one, we can make use of technology. the very means through which that attract their interest. We can, create content, that showcases African traditions, African culture. Then, likewise, too, young people too, should be encouraged. They should be taken out of all the negativities that has been imposed on African culture, African tradition, African values. All those things are not true. It's not true that they kill. It's not. In every culture, they have their negativities, but we must attempt deliberately, to propagate the positive things that are inherent within our culture. So in essence, it is important for many of us, those who are older, to encourage from their various homes the practice and the recognition of African tradition. So it is important we do that.
Okay. All right. Also, I'd like to ask this one also. It's quite important. You said earlier on that Isese, during the pre-colonial rule, they were involved in activism rather. So, if you look at today now, do you think that traditional celebrations like Isese Day, do you think it should influence policy and decision making, and governance, and the rest?
Subterraneously, it has been influencing policy. Like I mentioned earlier, the various politicians, they patronize the Isese people.
For elections?
Yes, not just for elections, for every other thing. Their world revolves around the Isese people. Only that they deny Isese in the public, in the open. So I think the Isese adherents too must be very deliberate by requesting and getting what belongs to them, from policy makers. Of course, if we factor in issues that relate to African tradition, African culture, many problems that we have today, in the first place, they wouldn't have occurred. So it's now for, the task now is for the Isese adherents to demand further recognition, from the politicians, people in government, to demand that there should be a place for them, and not that it's only when there's problem they are consulted. And it equally should, reflect in the choice of the monarchs, that governs various communities. Let people know that once you are a king, you are a king for all the faiths. You are neither a Muslim nor a Christian, but you must accommodate, you must encourage, you must encourage, peaceful coexistence among the various faiths. And you cannot say that because I'm a Muslim, I'm not going to do things that are cultural. Culture too has to do with identity, and it is connected to the history of the people. Failure to do that, it means that you are trying to unplug, things that are very, very genuine, things that forms part of the root, part of the genesis, of the people, who you are supposed, expected to superintend over, to be their king, to be their leader.
All right, sir. So, what is the future of Isese? Is this something that will happen? Fine, it started 2014 in Osun State. Now, other Western states have joined. What is the future? Do you see Isese August 20th becoming a national holiday?
Yes,
because,
time.
Hold on, sir, because right now, Even this 20th that is declared public holiday by all the states in the Western region, some private schools still tell you we are not on public holiday. So you cannot stay out of school. Well, all thanks to government that the children for primary and secondary schools, they are already at home this period. But they tell you that we are not on any public holiday, even after the state government has declared today public holiday. What is the future of Isese, the 20th of August?
Well, I think over time, people will key into it.
Okay.
Of course, it's a gradual process. For those that doesn't want to buy into it, of course, if there are legislations and there are consequences, they will have no choice than to, subscribe to activities, to government pronouncements concerning Isese. And importantly, it is for the government. It is for the government to insist whenever they make pronouncements that people follow those pronouncements.
Do you think it can go global, just the way the Christmas, the
It is global. It is global already. It's not that it can go global. Particularly, it is common, and it is popular in Africa diaspora, particularly the diasporas in the Americas, in Brazil, in Cuba, in Puerto Rico, in Colombia, and some other of the African, and even Yoruba continuities, outside Nigeria, Yoruba diaspora, they do that. I am aware that there's the Oodua Progressive Union that does some of those things in various places where you have Yoruba people, across the globe. They celebrate, they showcase the culture of the people. So Isese is not just only about Yoruba. It is about Igbo. It is about Igala. It is about the Hausas. It is about people from Zulu. Is from the people from, of course, Borno, the Kanem, the Kanuris, and the rest. It's rooted in people's culture. It's rooted in their ways of life. So it's not a Yoruba thing. And if we look at it, in fact, the Brazilian February, this celebration, the carnival, they are product of Isese. They celebrate Isese. They showcase the people. They showcase the history and the connection between Africa and Brazil. So I don't want to say that it's just only us, but rather we are picking from the development, that the kind of popularity it has gained outside. Yoruba culture, for instance, is being propelled more outside Nigeria than in Nigeria.
Why is this so?
Well, it's because continuously Yoruba culture is being attacked, by adherents of the two foreign faiths, Islam and Christianity.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. So I have two questions before we go. The first one, you made mention of Brazil, which I've always wanted to ask. What is the connection? Because some festivals like Yemoja, it's celebrated in Brazil. What is the connection between Yorubas and the Brazilians? Secondly, it is said that if you want children to learn something, it's between the age of 0 to 12. So, and if you look at our curriculums in secondary schools, primary schools, we have just CRK or IRK. Do you see a situation whereby we incorporate some of traditional beliefs, worship into the curriculum so that, yes, from a cradle, they are educated, they are well informed about our roots?
Well, first, beginning with Brazil, of course, we should remember that the bulk of the people that form, the Brazilian population today, many of them came from this part of the world. And to show the resilience of our culture, its ability to survive on foreign ground. Don't forget that efforts were made by the Portuguese, the colonizers of Brazil, to make sure they kill deliberately matters relating to the Yoruba culture. In fact, Yoruba culture has been one culture that challenged, enslavement and challenged colonialism. In fact, as far as Brazil is today, about 61 to 62% of the population is essentially black. And today, the African traditional religion is gaining more popularity than Roman Catholicism, Roman Catholic religion in Brazil. So then equally, coming back here, it is important that we tailor our educational curriculum, to showcasing, African culture.
Yes.
It is important that we do that. But sadly, those who are to do it, they keep interpreting our world from the prism of Christianity and Islam. So it's for us to deliberately break away from that and allow people to design things picking from various aspects of our culture, those things that are common and that we can teach people. Though, whether we like it or not, the children are learning it on the street.
Yes.
You wonder why whenever there is a Gungu festival, you see crowds of people that go to churches and mosques, following them.
Yeah.
And among those things, those people, you have young people doing that. So there is a formal way of doing it, and there's the informal attraction too that comes with it. So whether we like it or not, it will always continue, and it will always gain popularity. It's just for it to occupy the official, for it to occupy, the official space, as defined by the state. And that's one of those things that we are doing. Festac 77 is a product of Isese.
Wow.
Festac 77 is a product of Isese. It's to celebrate African culture, to showcase, to bring people together. So Isese is not just happening. It has happened over time. It's just only now that we are giving deliberate attention to it.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. I know Olumide wants to close this session right now, but this question is very important because I love food. I love good food. I love traditional food. As a Delta girl, I love starch and banga soup. As a Yoruba girl that I am today, what is that special food that is eaten or during Isese festival?
There's no particular food that cannot be taken.
Okay.
What you take during Christmas, what you take during, Ileya, there are things that you can't define food, but then it's an opportunity to return back to the traditional cuisines. Take, for instance, among the Ijebus, you have the kokore. I'm sure that in various places that will be celebrated. Ikokore will be one of the delicacies that will be served. In other places like Osun, you have Egbo. These are delicacies that will, be. Then we have a Bripo among.
Okay, so I'm hearing those also the first time.
So all these things, all these cuisines, all these delicacies, will be prepared and served. So Isese provides an opportunity for us to bring back some of those things that are missing, on our dining tables.
Yes.
Bring them back and share with love with people. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Prince Jibril Adeshegun Dosunmu. It's been an eye-opener. Thank you for also educating those out there so that they can understand what Isese Day means. It's not just to say we're celebrating Isese Day, but to understand the roots, the origin, and the grassroots of Isese Day. So glad to have you on this show. Thank you.
I'm so privileged to be here. Thank you so much.
Sir.
All right, we are still on Isese Day. Don't go nowhere. We're still coming back after this break.
Known as the father of African literature, Chinua Achebe was born on the 16th of November 1930 in Ogidi, now Anambra State, eastern Nigeria. He was born to Isaiah Okafor Achebe, a teacher and an evangelist, and Janet Anenichi Iluegbunam, a vegetable farmer. Achebe has reshaped the global understanding of African identity through the power of storytelling. Raised during the twilight of colonial rule, Achebe's education was steeped in both Igbo tradition and the Western values of post-colonial Christianity. As a student at the University of Ibadan, he became fiercely critical of how Africa was portrayed in Western literature. Achebe believed that Western literature often painted Africa as a dark and primitive continent, but he sought to tell the African people's lens. In 1958, Achebe's groundbreaking novel Things Fall Apart shattered colonial narratives through the tragic story of Okonkwo, an Igbo warrior. Achebe illuminated the complexities of African culture and the devastating effects of European colonization. Things Fall Apart became more than just a novel. It became a symbol of African resistance against the oppressive narratives of colonialism. Achebe was not just a writer. He was a passionate advocate for African self-determination, and his political activism made him a critical voice in the post-colonial era. Even after a life marked by personal and political struggles, including a car accident that left him partially paralyzed, Achebe continued to inspire. He taught at Bard College and later Brown University, where his influence reached new generations of writers and thinkers. He was married to Christiana Chinwe Okoli, and they had 4 children. Sadly, he died in March 2013 at the age of 82. Chinua Achebe's legacy endures in his novels, his essays, and in the countless voices of African writers who follow in his footsteps. He gave us a voice, a story, and a vision of Africa that is ours to share.
Wole Soyinka. Born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of art. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded 2 theatre groups known as the 1960 Masks and the Orisun Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died, Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
When you visit Lagos for the first time and Google fun or recreational places in the city, at the top of that list will be Freedom Park. Located in Lagos Island on Broad Street, Freedom Park over the years has become home to the Nigerian arts and the culture at large. From annual big shows like the Lagos Theatre Festival, Celebration at the Lagos Poetry Festival, to local festivals that celebrate literature, music, and arts, Freedom Park is one of the most visited recreational sites in Lagos, for both local and tourist people alike. A place to mingle, unwind, or simply just have fun. Freedom Park, however, hasn't always been a place of fun and games. It has a history that dates to 1861, when Lagos was made a British colony. In 1885, Freedom Park was built as a fortified prison from imported bricks. It was referred to as Her Majesty's Broad Street Prison. Some prominent political prisoners were held in the prison, people such as Herbert Macaulay, Michael Imodu, and Obafemi Awolowo. In 1979, Her Majesty's Broad Street Prison was destroyed, reduced to a dumping ground. It was later rebuilt in the 1990s, celebrated in 2010, Nigeria's 50th Independence Day. Freedom Park still holds a bit of its history within its walls. In the museum, where there are pictures and artifacts. Some of the old prison facilities have been converted into leisure facilities that people visit and enjoy today.
Welcome back to Just Africa, and we're still celebrating the Isese Day, which is more than a celebration. It has sparked vital conversation. We've had a guest, Prince Jibril Adeshegun Dosumu, who enlightened us on Isese Day. It's quite interesting, and that last question I asked him was very, very important.
Yes.
How we can actually incorporate, because if you look at other countries, China, Japan, they incorporate culture into their system.
Yeah.
I remember the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak, he performs his ritual right because he's from India. He performs ritual right. He's not, he won't say because I'm living in the United Kingdom, I must adhere to Christianity or any other. So we need to incorporate this. We're not talking about diabolical things. We're just saying let the children know their roots. let them have it. Because whether we like it or not, even the elite, rich people travel all the way to United Kingdom to celebrate Nottingham Carnival. They celebrate, there's this other one they do, Halloween.
Yeah.
Why can't we celebrate
They
our
wear
own
those costumes.
And wear costumes? Why can't we celebrate this? When you hear Cultural Day, or when you hear, what do you call it, this one that they do during secondary schools, whereby you dress as a particular...
Oh, okay, Career Day.
Career Day. There was a meme I saw. A young chap was dressed as a babalawo, and it was funny. The meme went viral, and people were laughing, but it's not a laughing matter. Do you understand? So these are some of the things we need to incorporate. People need to understand what culture means, so that leave them to decide if they want to go this way or that way. If they want to, worship this particular God or this particular God, it's left for them to decide. But give them that opportunity, that knowledge for them to be able to decide.
Yes, and again, it is very important for people to know that Isese, just as our guest rightly said, it's not only about deities. Have you imagined the sound of the drums on the street, the colors, the food, the dance, and all that? Take it or you leave it, it brings you back to memory lane. Anytime I travel home and I see people, I go to church and I hear them sing my native songs, I feel I am home. But it's such a big deal these days for people to even speak their local dialects. People now speak English. We now give names, to English names to our children. We forget the names of Oluwakemi and those other beautiful names, and we are looking for Benny. We are looking for Rishi. All those kind of, we now forget all that. Another thing we tend to forget, which we must not forget, is, just as you said, schools. We have decided to use English, of course, which is the official language for Nigeria.
Yes.
But even the Yoruba subject that you have put there, do you use Yoruba to teach the children? Then you interpret? Do you ensure that the questions are set in Yoruba?
Yes, definitely.
Can the children read it? Because if we don't start it from the cradle, just as you said, we've lost it.
Yes.
You tell me that if I speak my local dialect to my child, the child will not do well in school. Hello, when did we start using the English language to measure standard for intelligence? These are things we are forgetting. Olumide, I don't know if you've come across anyone who's tell you that our own beads are not called Jaruma, are not called different kind of names. That you now use our bead. When you wear a bead as a lady, they tell you are using it to tie down a man. Hello, where did all this come from? What happened? What happened to our culture? What happened to our values? These are things we have thrown aside, and we feel that it is not of importance. Now, back to Isese Day.
Yes.
People don't think about the economic value. Do you know, you declared public holidays? Yes, banks, schools, and some other corporate organizations are on public holidays. But do you think of that woman who will go to that event and sell food? The person who will go there and sell ice cream? Those who will go there and make money? So they contribute, take it or you leave it, Isese Day contributes to the economy of a country, of the country. So it is something we should hold with it should be of high value to us because they contribute. And do you know how many people will fly into this country just because of this celebration? People come in, do we think about others? Some places, people you've not seen in ages, they tell you, no, it's time to go back home. Because it is not just going to be only August 20th, there are other celebrations that come along. You understand? So you see, it is something we can. It is something that we must do. All right, we'll go on this quick break, and when we come back, you'll meet our next guest. Thank you very much. Are you okay? Again.
Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS. Tafawa Balewa Square was initially used as a horsing ground called Lagos Race Course. The edifice was constructed by General Yakubu Gowon in 1972 and named after Nigeria's first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa. Tafawa Balewa Square is located at 45/57 Masi Bangboshe Street on Lagos Island, Lagos, and referred to as TBS. TBS is a 50,000-seater capacity venue and houses the Remembrance Arcade, the 26-story Independence House, which at a time was the country's tallest building. When Lagos served as the country's seat of government, the National Assembly Complex was within the TBS. Also in the square are the National Broadcasting Commission Office, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency Office, shopping centers, travel agencies, restaurants, car parking lots, and a bus terminal. Tafawa Balewa Square is adorned with beautiful statues of white horses and red eagles, symbols of strength and dignity. Our historic neighbors include the King's College and the Holy Cross Cathedral. Tafawa Balewa Square hosted some of the country's memorable events such as the Independence Day in 1960 when Nigeria gained independence from Britain, the Armed Forces Remembrance Day which is celebrated annually on January 15. The edifice is a national cultural asset. Tafawa Balewa Square, Souk Enlightenment. Lateef Jakande. Born Lateef Kayode Jakande in the Ekpetedo area of Lagos Island, Lagos State on July 1929. He studied at the Lagos Public School at Enowa, Lagos Island, then at Bonham Memorial Methodist School, Port Harcourt, King's College, enrolled at Ilesha Grammar School, where he edited a literary paper called The Quarterly Mirror. Jakande began a career in journalism in 1949 with a daily service and joined the Nigerian Tribune in 1953. The owner, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, appointed Jakande editor-in-chief of the Tribune in 1956. Jakande established John West Publications in 1975 after leaving Tribune and began to publish the Lagos News. He served as the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. Jakande ran for election as Executive Governor of Lagos State in 1979 on the Unity Party of Nigeria platform. His administration was effective and open and implemented the cardinal policies of his party. He introduced housing and educational programs targeting the poor, building new neighborhood primary and secondary schools, and providing free primary and secondary education. He gave poor people's children education, and many of them are now very prominent in the society today. Jakande established the Lagos State University and constructed over 30,000 housing units. After the military takeover in 1983, Jakande was charged, prosecuted, and convicted of treason and later pardoned. He served as Minister of Works under the Sani Abacha military regime. He died in Lagos on February 11, 2021. Lateef Jakande was the first civilian governor of Lagos State. Lateef Kayode Jakande, Souk Enlightenment.
My name is Isese Gbadegesiin. I'm the CEO of Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch Souk News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching Souk News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch Souk News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching Souk News, okay? Stay updated with Souk News.
My name is Aton Keme. I am the head of MSME Banking. Please keep watching Souk News and stay glued to Souk News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch Souk News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching Sook News.
My name is Isese Geshin. I'm the CEO of Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch Sook News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching Sook News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch Sook News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching Sook News, okay? Stay updated with Sook News.
My name is Aton Keme. I am the head of MSME banking. Please keep watching Sook News and stay glued to Sook News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch Sook News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching Sook News.
Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS. Tafawa Balewa Square was initially used as a horsing ground called Lagos Race Course. The edifice was constructed by General Yakubu Gowon in 1972 and named after Nigeria's first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa. Tafawa Balewa Square is located at 45/57 Marseille Bangboshe Street on Lagos Island, Lagos, and referred to as TBS. TBS is a 50,000-seater capacity venue and houses the Remembrance Arcade, the 26-story Independence House, which at a time was the country's tallest building. When Lagos served as the country's seat of government, the National Assembly Complex was within the TBS. Also in the square are the National Broadcasting Commission Office, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency Office, shopping centers, travel agencies, restaurants, car parking lots, and a bus terminal.
Welcome back to Just Africa. Don't forget to like, comment, and share on our social media pages at Sook News Television. We're still discussing, we're still celebrating culture, religion, and heritage. The Isese Day. Isese Agbewa. Yes, I have another special guest on Just Africa today to discuss Isese Day. He is a veteran journalist, Bayo Olaoye. So glad to have you. Isese Agbewa.
Isese Agbewa.
Isese Agbewa.
Eku ọdún.
Eku ọdún.
Eku ọdún. When you say Eku ọdún, you say Eku Yedu.
Eku Yedu. Thank you very much for that.
This is a day of celebration. It's a day of integration, and it's a day of reconciliation. Because let's face it, just like Mr. Prince Dosunmu said, we are all part of Isese. My father was the headmaster of Holy Cross Cathedral. Okay. I attended Holy Cross Cathedral, I attended Loyola College. But I have my ancestral links in Oyo. I come from Ile-Alare. And in Ile-Alare, you worship Ile-Ononsiawo.
So, let's back up a bit. Ile-Alare, what does it mean?
Ile-Alare, that's my family compound. Ile-Alare. Okay. But in Ile-Alare, they worship, there's what you call Ile-Ononsiawo.
Is that a deity?
No, it's like a worship place.
Okay.
Where you worship the deity. So, Isese has always been part of us. And even though some of us pretend and heap blames, heap allegations against Isese, we are all part of it. You must have an oriki. I have an oriki. I am a Koni. Every Yoruba person must have an oriki. But beyond that, Isese has to do with the entirety of African tradition, the essence of African tradition: food, dancing, drama, poetry, folklore,
yeah.
storytelling. So, I believe that we should give kudos to Rauf Aregbesola when he was governor of Osun State. He spearheaded this, and we thought he was joking. But he has broken grounds, and other states are now following. Let me say categorically clearly that the forerunner of this sudden interest in our culture is Ojude Oba. Ojude Oba paved the way for other regions, other sections of the Nigerian society to see the essence of highlighting, showcasing your tradition. And from there, people are now realizing we didn't have Shogun Festival before, we had it now in Oyo. Osun Festival is getting more glamorized. So I think Isese can promote not only economic development, it can promote tourism.
Yes.
But we have not given it the leverage it deserves. So I still must congratulate the Southwestern governors for this embracing of this tradition. And I must also congratulate CBAC, the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, which has also carried the burden of spreading this culture of our traditional values and moral values. Isese can be enhanced if government gives more bite to the celebrations. Today, I've gone around. Maybe when I get to the Oba's Palace, there will be some form of celebration. But as it is now, it's not a public holiday. There's not much celebration and not much appreciation by the public that today is a public holiday.
So all right, let me quickly stop you there. You said there's not much appreciation for Isese Day today. Could that be due to the fact that there's not much enlightenment of what Isese Day means to the common person?
Essentially, yes.
Essentially. Yes. Lagos State declared it yesterday, declared today as a public holiday. But in going further, maybe they could have, educated, enlightened people that Isese Day, this is why we're doing, or probably even come up with an event, maybe at the trade fair or the Tafawa Balewa Square or somewhere, just to promote, not just to declare it publicly, but to also show that you are in support, you are promoting culture.
Yes, I think that's the apathy on behalf of that's the apathy on the side of the civil servants. We have a ministry, Lagos State Ministry of Culture, Arts and Tourism. And I thought we should have some intellectual input into this discussion. Whether either a lecture, a workshop, or a drama presentation. Or some form of literary gathering where intellectuals, practitioners, devotees can come and enlighten us about the Isese.
Yes.
It is still there. It is still hanging. There's still doubt. There's still hypocrisy. There's still prejudice against Isese. And I think government still has a lot of work to do. Don't forget that the universities too, they have Institute of African Studies, and I'm surprised. Prince Dosunmu was in the University of Ife before as a lecturer, and I am surprised that they have been very silent. The Institute of Cultural Studies in Lagos, UNILAG, the ones at Ife, who should embrace and galvanize people, just highlighting this, they have been very absent. And I think that is a work for not only CBAC, for those of us too who are interested in our tradition. Another thing I want to say is that now we must come to reality that not only are we Christians, not only are we Muslims, but some of us have ancestral links.
I think that's everybody really.
That's why Isese comes into to the front burner now, and we must discuss it.
Yes, yes. I want to ask, you talked about people that are practicing this tradition. Now, for the Christians, the pastors, the bishops, they promote Christmas. They promote Easter. The Muslims, the Afars, they promote their Eid. what happened to, I don't like using the word babalaos. Maybe for lots of us, I'll have to say babalaos. The real priests, the traditional worshippers themselves. What
Babalawo is a priest. Babalawo is a priest.
Okay.
But if you want to avoid the money, it's a priest.
Yes. Now, people now look at Isese and the people who are practicing the tradition as juju. They now feel that diabolical. You now feel that, okay, because they wore a particular white and they carry these things on their head, so you see everybody shying away, running away from them. It is not supposed to be so. What is the role of the traditional rulers and the babalaos in promoting Isese?
You see, I still come back to the word prejudice. Even in the Christian faith, I will tell you for free that even in the Christian faith, some religious dominations don't like white garment churches. Okay. It's as bad as that. So there's prejudice in every religion. So for traditional rulers, it's only natural that they should promote Isese. They should be in the forefront to do it. It's either they are complacent, it's either they are selfish, or it's either they are not knowledgeable enough. Don't forget that the traditional institution has been infringed upon and has been bastardized by politicians. And so the role of traditional rulers has been reduced because sometimes it's not Ifa that really chooses the king. The king. It's political manipulations and whatever. So politicians have eroded the respect that we will have accorded Isese. And this priest that you are always talking about, these are our Catholic priests, our Christian priests and the Islamic whatever, patronize behind Isese dynasty, so to say.
Do you have any experience, Baba?
So what?
Do you have any experience of a Christian leader or a Muslim leader who has patronized?
It has been alleged.
Yep.
It has been alleged, and I don't want to mention names.
Okay.
As a reporter, as a journalist, I have come across some proven cases, and it's unbelievable. I don't need to draw you back to some crisis in the Christchurch Cathedral in the 70s, where priests were openly challenging themselves.
Yes.
I don't think you need the details, but it's as bad as that.
Yeah.
So we must recognize Isese.
Yes.
Okay.
They are part of creation. They are part of civilization, and they are part of development.
True.
And we should forget about discrimination or prejudice about something that is ours. It's originally ours. We should protect it. We should. If we want to say modernize it, yes, we must modernize it. Because the place where these babalawos stay are so filthy and that kind of thing. There should be some modernity into it. But as it is, we are all worshiping one God.
Yes.
All right, so now many countries integrate indigenous traditions in their national identity. Take, for instance, Japan's Shinto. If you look at India, I made mention of Rishi Sunak. While he was prime minister, he was, observing his rituals to his God.
Yes.
What lessons can we draw? Can Africans draw from this? If China, Japan, they believe in their own deities, their own gods, what lessons can we draw from
The lesson we should learn is that our language is sacrosanct. Our religion is sacrosanct.
Yes.
The Chinese up to now still use their language to communicate. India also uses, Japan also. So what stops us from using any of our languages or all our languages, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, to communicate? We can't. There's nothing. English is foreign to us. Pidgin English is even foreign to us. We must concretize the teaching of our languages. But the problem is that we don't have the teachers. We don't even have the textbooks. We don't have the writers anymore. D.O. Fagunwa in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s was a premium Yoruba literature book. But there's no D.O. Fagunwa. There's no writer that has matched his expertise. We have not had any defining novel as Dio Fagua series. He wrote Ogboju Ode Ninu Igbo Orunmole, Ogboju Ode. He wrote a series of books, fiction, in Yoruba language. That is not there anymore. We don't have the visuals to teach Yoruba. The books are not there. The teachers are not there. And you cannot tell a Ghanaian or an Igbo-speaking person to teach Yoruba. So they teach. I know that the Lagos State government have this problem, particularly with Yoruba teachers. They are not enough. And they are now resorting to the College of Education or College of Education for Teachers to train Yoruba-speaking teachers. So, but we have moved forward. We have moved forward. There's a realization now that Isese Day is celebrated in the southwest of Nigeria. Yes. Eventually to get to the southeast and get to the other geographical divisions. Yeah. It's a way to go. And I congratulate the adherents. In fact, I congratulate all of us. Yeah. We are moving away from our hypocrisy and pretense. And we are now embracing our identity, our authentic identity.
Okay, so my next question is about other traditions. We are all Nigerians, but we all have different traditions. The Igbos, they have theirs, and they have their deities. The Hausas, they have theirs. Now, Yorubas are celebrating theirs in August 20th. We've not heard about other traditions, other culture, and all that. Now, don't you think it will get to a point where there will be a kind of disagreement between traditional rulers if, for instance, the federal government decides to adopt this day? Do you suggest that the federal government should just appoint or should just declare August 20th for all traditional rulers, traditional religion festivals, or they should have their separate dates? Because what if someone from the south tells you that August is not convenient for us that are traditional worshippers, that the rains are too much here and we need the time to celebrate? But the Yoruba say, okay, because of other activities, other festivals, so we have to do it in August. The Igbo person tells you, no, that is our August meeting. Do we see the future of traditional practices, traditional festivals coming into this chaotic situation?
That is why we have always been saying that the traditional rulers must be given a role in this new constitution that we are making. The traditional rulers are nearest to the people, and they determine what is right and what is wrong traditionally. So there is a need to have a National Council of Traditional Rulers.
I think we have that, really.
No, there's a bill now. There's a discussion in the National Assembly for a bill to establish that. What we have is this National Reconciliation, whatever, Kuka and the Sultan and whatever. But we need an institution called the National Council of National Traditional Rulers. They will be able to identify and affirm genuine traditional ceremonies and festivals and the mode of worship. I think we should have that. Or else we'll fall into that scenario where there will be arguments,
yes,
there will be disagreements, and it's counterproductive. So we need the traditional rulers to show us the way. Because they own the custom of the people. They own our heritage. They know the nooks and crannies of our existence.
Yes.
So we should give it to them. We should not make them idle. Because if we make them idle, politicians will come nearer them and fill them with all sorts of ideas. I think our traditional rulers are good people. We now have educated and enlightened traditional rulers. We should bring them together so that they can give a definite movement to traditional institutions in Nigeria.
All right, thank you for that. So, in addition to what you just said, what roles do you think traditional institutions can play in governance, can play in mediation, and of course, grassroots development?
I think the traditional rulers need to advise governments, advise our leaders on the way to go. They need to galvanize the people on the need to obey the laws, to pay their taxes. They need to look at the needs of the people and get them back to government. They need to relate with government and not antagonize government. And they don't have to be partisan. Because they are the fathers of the nation. Politicians will listen to them. And it is incumbent on them to give good advice and not to take sides.
Yeah.
And not to cause divisions. Because there are divisions. There are divisions. Within all religious societies, there are divisions. So the duty of the traditional is to sit there down, enlighten them, and resolve all issues.
Okay.
The traditional rulers have a role to play as we continue to protect and support our traditional institutions. We must give them that respect.
Yeah, last question from me. We've talked about it. Passing this culture to the next generation.
Yes.
Now, these days, parents no longer speak their local dialect to their kids at home. History is being banished from the curriculum in schools, in secondary school, in primary schools, and I think in junior secondary schools. No more storytelling in our homes anymore. Tales by moonlight. We don't do all that anymore because most of us, that was how we got to know our histories. If Yoruba is not taught, we don't have history anymore. No more tales by moonlight. How do we pass all this to the next generation?
The media should take up its responsibility as the fourth estate of the realm to awaken the people to this reality. The media is part of the society, the fourth estate of the realm. We must focus on traditional rights, traditional institutions, traditional festivals, so that the people will know what is happening. The media as it is has been urbanized, more or less. And we pay special attention to Christmas and Ileya. Don't forget that during Christmas, in Lagos, for instance, we have what we call frijon. It's a Brazilian cuisine, frijon. Why can't you have that kind of thing during Isese festival? Particular food that is served during Isese Day in Lagos. In Ijebu, it will be kokore. In Ibadan, it will be amala. And amala and...
Baba is pointing at me. I'm not the right person.
It will be amala and begiri. Amala and begiri.
Yes.
So, we must showcase Isese Day.
Yes.
Not only to promote tourism, not only to promote our traditional cuisines, but to give our children a sense of belonging. Don't be surprised, these children now, we may say they are nonchalant, but little by little they are getting to know that tradition matters.
Sure.
When they discuss among themselves, they know that tradition matters.
Yes.
So, government must take the bull by the horns and support this traditional institution so that all of us can live happily.
Yeah.
We don't have to distrust each other because of religious affiliation.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bayo Olaoye. And once again,
thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you very much. All right, so this is where we will be rounding up today's episode of Just Africa. But I leave you with this. Isese Day is more than a celebration. It sparks vital conversations about who we are as Africans and how tradition, policy, and development can intersect. The question remains, can the recognition of African traditions in policy making open new doors for unity, cultural industries, and inclusive growth? I am Olumide Shokoya. This has been Just Africa. Join the conversation online. Let's continue exploring the stories shaping our continent. See you next time.
Yes, to our Obas, Makiyo, Kabiesio, and to our governors, we are greeting you. To the illustrious sons and daughters of the Yoruba origin, Isese Agbewa. My name is Omivi Idolo.